stand a chance to win a trip for two to Spain to watch Real Madrid live in action with @Nivea Man SA. Buy any Nivea Man deep product and enter *120 *607 hash to stand a chance. You can explore the sights of Madrid. You will have a training session at the Real Madrid training ground and a tour to the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. Terms and conditions apply. The competition starts from the 1st of March to the 30th of April 2023. iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting. iDiskiTimes.co.za. Mamelodi Sundowns 0, Cape Town City 0 in the DStv Premiership. Mamelodi Sundowns are the champions of the DStv Premiership. Of course, we knew that from the weekend. This was the first game that they played in the league, having won the league 6 times in a row. First league title for coach Rulani Mukwena. It is possible that he's the youngest ever coach to win the league title as a singular head coach. Of course, he won it last season when he was a joint head coach. I'm trying to think that in 1997, it was won by Gordon Igerson, and Gordon Igerson may not have been in his 30s at the time he was old enough. In 98-99, it was won by Ted Dumitro with Mamelodi Sundowns. Ted Dumitro, Begali Kehla. In 2000, it's possible that it was won by Doleza with Sundowns again, if I'm not mistaken, and he was an older man. In 2001, I think Abotso, they won it. I don't know whether they won it with not Roy Barreto, but they won it with Gordon Igerson again in 2001. So Gordon Igerson was slightly older. In 2002, I want to say Santos won the league in 2002. If I'm not mistaken. And then in 2003, it's Paris again, if I'm not mistaken. Then in 4 and 5, it's Kaizer Chiefs with Ted Dumitro. It's an older man as well. 6 and 7 is Gordon Igerson with Sundowns, and then Miguel Ramondi and Neil Tovey with Sundowns as well. 8, 9 and 10 is SuperSport United with Gavin Hunt that won the league. If I might be slightly missing the years a little bit, but I know that it's in the right chronology. But the point is that it's very rare to find a young coach winning the league in his 30s. So congratulations to Rulani Mukwena. He's probably the youngest coach in the history of the Premier Soccer League to win the league. One of the toughest leagues to win in the world, or even on the continent as well. It's very difficult to have a new face winning the league for the very first time in their career. Tso Vilakazi used to play for Mamelodi Sundowns, just paying a tribute to what they've been able to achieve for 6 years. We talk about it and we laugh about it every single time, every now and then, because the season is long. So it could last for 10 years and stuff like that. Just look back to the season and what they've been able to achieve. And even the idea of winning the league is a very big deal. Winning the league is the biggest. For me, I love winning the league. Like, I love that. That's a most incredible challenge. If you win the MTN 8, you've won 4 matches. If you win the Nedbank Cup, you've won 5 or 4 matches as well. But if you win the league, it means that you are consistent over 30 matches. That's a more difficult task.
Mr. Mr.
So-and-so?
Ngibulise wena, ngibulise Justice, ngibulise Junior, ngibulise Drake, ngibulise nemakhaya. Cela support njalo la iDiskiTV. Ngizobe nje benjalo ngichike futhi. Mr. Nkiwo, well done to Minona Phezulu. Well done to the chairman, to the coach, to the players, technical team. You know, Gabuyelo, my supporters. It was, yes, we can say an easy one, but not an easy one. Because I know that behind the scenes there's a lot of work that the technical team needs to put in, and the players, the sacrifice, but job well done, because you know to sacrifice that's what we see with Sundowns. And Mr. Nkewu, we always say sekhuluma easy vele thina kamnandi Sundowns uzowina vele league. We just said, but there's a lot of work, Mr. Nkewu. I know that, because at some point I was in that in that environment where you plan for the league, where the coach needs to sit down. You guys, we are winning. Sometimes
just remind us how did Gordon Igerson approach it?
Yes, I remember Gordon Igerson used to say, "Look, boys, if we can get a draw against Chiefs, I can get a draw against Sundowns, I'm okay. But I can't get a draw against Black Leopards. I can't get a draw against Celtic. If I can get those 6 points, then I'm sorted. Then I'll wait for Sundowns and Chiefs their respond on that. And it takes a lot out of the coach and the players, because remember that now the mentality needs to change. When you play against a big team like Sundowns, against a big team like Chiefs, to say you can't afford to lose. Even when Chiefs were on song at that time, Sundowns were playing shishan and piano. So now we are born and now with the but we go to the game in the back of our mind, which has in we can't afford to lose. The lose it may look a draw, and that draw, it's like already winning the cup according, and it helps. It shows good. In a race you plan. Mr. K, you don't just run a race.
By the time you go to December,
okay, let me just jog. Just an easy jog, just to read the situation. And if you see by Vula we are but I'll be far from him. Give a light to Zan so that when I see good manje says Condile Mangela Pepande. Then again, I do have that energy that I can put that sprint to So it's Sundowns, Mr. Keo. It's not something that starts now.
There's something that's happening. So Roman Falls, Gwamazulu.
Yeah.
With his age profile, he struggled to inspire those players. He's French, he's a foreign guy, and he's young. He's in his 30s. If you think about it, Rulani Mukwena being in his 30s, being able to win a league. So these are two young guys with contrasting experiences. One is struggling. They had to take him or demote him. They call it a demotion. But I'm like a technical director. So I don't want us to dwell on Roman Falls, but I'm making a point about the age thing. Even though Julian Nagelsmann, we Bayern Munich, they had to get rid of him because there were things, he was winning on the field, but there were things off the field that were somewhat related to his age. There are things that he does or things that he says to the players that are making the dressing room. He is losing the dressing room. Urulana Mukwena is young, and it's an incredible achievement for a young person.
Mr. Keo, coaching in Makas, coaching the kids abancane. And learn from the experienced coaches. Rulane, he's the most lucky coach. I will put it in that.
Please explain.
Yeah, because having to be an assistant to Coach Pitso. Coach Pitso, we all know he's a very hardworking coach. From national, like a personal, I know him because, before I joined Sundowns, I was training with Sundowns. I was supposed to sign for Sundowns. He was the coach who used to fetch me a school and so I know Coach Pitso Umutonjan. So Urulano was lucky that he was there, Coach Pitso, and he learned a lot of things to him, and that's why you see him. Now you don't even see Uguti Mnane. Now you want somebody else.
You don't even think about it.
Yeah, no, not at all. Because of when you look at the way Sundowns they're playing, you will say Uguti coach ala 50, 60. Because of now the experience and the knowledge I told you about Coach Pito. And one thing that I like about him is that he's not changing from what Coach Pizzo taught him. He's still doing the very same thing, and he's giving us a headache week in, week out. But well done, Coach.
Yeah. Just very quickly on the game tonight.
Yeah.
What did Eric Tinkler do right tonight?
Mr. Keo, I always say this, and there's two coaches. I don't know, man could be Zulbang is one now. But I'm not by responder when they put their team together. Steve Parker and no Eric. In Sundowns, they use pockets. If you know how to close those pockets, you'll give Sundowns a headache. And it is two coaches.
It's still difficult.
It's always going to be difficult.
You see the chances that Sundowns got today.
Yeah.
They are still like chances where 2 goals or 3 goals should be in.
The only difference should be individual brilliance. Yeah. Because today, I think individual brilliance was supposed to play a part. Because when you look at how, even when they were 1 man down, but you could still see their shape. They've lost somebody, but they still keep their shape in the midfield. They still close those pockets. So it was difficult. And somebody could see Sundowns they're forcing those forward passes right in between because that's how they play. But I don't know. The other coach, I was
about to say that you missed out on Gavin Hunt.
Coach, yes,
Gavin Hunt is the one on 2 matches.
Yeah.
He won the first one, he lost the second one. In 2 matches, he showed us this is how you play against Sundowns.
And the difference between
in the league.
Coach Laba, sorry coach. Milanawe, yes, we always talk, and yeah, I like you and I respect you. One thing that I like about him is he will wait for Sundowns. He knew, once I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, I'm there. But now, Steve Parker and Eric, they know what is that they need to do. But it seems like it's slow that action here. Because when they do that action here, it's announced they like, we know you're going to go there. We can see you. You're making that run. We can see you. But they're like, what? Hey. So yeah. So that's one thing.
He beat them the first time.
Yes,
you remember that Friday we were here? He beat them the first time on that Friday. Tapelo Masego. That was the first time we saw Tapelo Masego.
Yes.
We got to know, this kid is going to be on fire. Yeah. And then the second game again they should have got a penalty in that game, and they lost it. But it could have been 1-1 because they had a clear-cut penalty that was denied for them, and they played. So one of the interesting things, and this is the frustration with the coaches in the PSL, and that's why I'm saying they must get together, exchange ideas, because what did Eric Tinkler do that Gavin Hunt did on his matches? When Sundowns is doing a build-up play, every single player in Cape Town City is on the center line.
Yes.
They're saying, it's all good, come.
Yeah.
We'll only start engaging you when you get to your arc of the center, then we'll start engaging you. What that means is that they don't expend energy on the other half, Sundowns Beletripola, chasing the ball. This is what Al Hilal did as well.
Yes.
Al Hilal did this with Florian Ibenge, and they did it perfectly. They were like, we're not going to engage you. And what we know that also, what you guys like doing is that when you enter on our own half, you play with your own tempo. We will press you when you enter our own half, when you play with a slower tempo, game management tempo. And from that, I think all coaches should be taking lessons to say, Florian Ibenge, Gavin Hunt, Eric Tinkler, today. Steve Parker was slightly different because they played the different Sundowns. If you remember, it was a different in the Nedbank Cup. It was a different kind of Sundowns in the Nedbank Cup. But with these ones in the league and in the Champions League, it doesn't mean that they're going to beat Sundowns. But it's like this is the best approach you can have to make it difficult to lose 1-0 or draw 1-1. This is the best approach you can have. But
Mr. Gay, you know one thing that I've seen also by doing that, they also get chances. Because it took a shot, I say Valapaya. Amanya Lapana deflection, Amanya Obo Mudiba, they had to take them out because of the pressure. So it tells you, Uguti, when you try and do it in a good way, one way or another, you'll get a chance. But one thing Egibona is like our coaches, they're just scared of Sundowns.
Is it not possible that they don't even watch? It's like they accept their fate to go to Sodliwa. So even in my preparation, why couldn't they have seen? So when you remember when Gavin Hunt beat Sundowns, it must have been the first game of the season, if I'm not mistaken, the first ever game of the season. It was a Friday night. We're still shooting there in Randburg. Now, from that, as a coach, you save that game. You watch it obsessively. If you're a coach, you watch that and you're like, what did these guys do right in this game? And then you watch them in other matches too where they struggled. And you ask yourself, what went wrong in this game for Sundowns that I could use? In tonight's game, Sundowns could have won 3-0, but still Cape Town City made it difficult. Now, you sit there and you watch that video, you say, this is... Because there's something common about the matches where Sundowns struggled. It's the approach. We'll never press you in your own half. We will just wait here in the center arc. You will start engaging us here. When you start engaging us here, we'll press you. As soon as we get the ball, we have our wide forward, left and right, and our central player who will not even be given a responsibility to mark, but they will always attack you. And we'll get a chance, and if we get a chance, we'll win. I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying you're going to win, but you are going to lose all the time if you don't have that approach.
The problem, Mr. Nkeo, is that bayayenza lento leyo they ubabone bese bathi bapaka ibhasi. But one thing that I'm always worried about is that you're going to get the ball. You're going to get the ball. Yes, Sundowns uzobuya sonke size la city, but uzolithola iball. What are you going to do with the ball? That's one thing that engibona ukuthi because I remember ETS Galas they did that.
Oh yes, and they won. Actually,
yes.
they won.
They did that. They seated the bag.
They super parked the bus. They parked it
Bama straight, and then. But now my worry was kuti, if they didn't get that chance, it was finished. Because after that goal, like nothing happened. They all went there, they sit, Sundowns, they tried to use their pockets, they missed chances and all of that. But nevertheless, Mr. Keo, what is important is that in Warashayo again is when you watch Sundowns, are you watching Sundowns as a team favour or a team sabayo? Or are you watching Sundowns? This is how Sundowns they play. These are key men who makes things happen in the midfield, who start the whole move, who always finish up front, who does the cheating. Because I can tell you, because when I watch them, I'm like, okay, you know me lang mga valala kumkwena la. Let's see what they can do. I'm just giving them kancane. Ukuthi ake uthi akuhlala nje lapha kumkwena. Let's see Sundowns wenzani. Because Umkwena, he's the problem for everyone to lose against Sundowns. Because once he can start those moves in the midfield, getting the ball and 10, call everyone to come and have a touch, then you finish. Because they are good at running off the ball. They're good. Mshishu, Mayema, Alenda, you can't touch them. They cut inside. They can make the anti-clockwise run. They can make a clockwise run. You're gonna be confused. There were moments where even Nayo Ilonzana, he kept on seat where they tried to go to hand by press. Gonna get a ball and 10, and they made a pass in between. Then Umshishu was there. They almost scored.
Yes,
so it's not gonna be.
It's a shooting podcast. It's all.
Oh,
yeah.
So
we're
Mr. Kew, what I will say is that well done to Sundowns. You guys, mina ngihlala ngisho njalo isizini mayiqala and ngisazoyisho nakule isizini because of what is happening around. But I just hope njengoba ke unkoleko asho ukuthi akube nelihotla nje kancane
ahlanganana madoda mkhulu
no bangifonela nje ngizosondela ngithi no asenze 1 2 3 sibonele ukuthi can't we give Sundowns a tough time. But well done Gabuyelo.
All right, there you go. iDiskiTV, Diski Times, World Sports Betting. Thank you for watching us.